Never seen Rush Hour 2. Keep the filter fish.
Alright, so hello, my name is Tiffany and this is Michael. A while ago on my channel I have posted, maybe like 2 years ago, correction, 2 years ago I posted a video.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we filmed this.
Yeah, no,
The first time our whole heads were cropped off.
yeah, so we're gonna do it the right way. Hopefully this is the right way.
Even though the first way was better.
He thinks the first way was better, but I would rather, regardless, what happened was, it didn't record right.
Oh shit, it's cracked here too.
Okay, so,
I got this clapper.
So we got this S1000, and pretty much this is dream bike, and this is my dream bike as well. However, I will show you a Ducati that I did get before. I think we do have it on video. I will show you that later. So tell us about this bike.
Got it off Copart for $700.
So we got it off Copart for $700.
2011.
2011.
6,000 miles on the title. I don't know what's actually on the bike. Basically what happened was she bit the bullet on the Ducati and she got the Ducati for $950.
Yes.
And the bike actually belonged to someone that we knew. We didn't realize it until I got here and we noticed some stick, or somebody pointed it out that, hey, I think that's so-and-so's bike. So he wasn't too happy that we got the bike because he looped it, cracked a little, like half-inch crack right around where the kickstand mounts onto the motor, which is fucking stupid on Ducati's part for mounting the kickstand to the motor.
Yeah.
Anyway, he claimed it to the insurance and tried to get them to either rebuild the whole motor with new casing or new cases or just a brand new motor. They told him to fuck himself and
now I have
totaled
it.
his bike, and now we have it. $900, and he was really petty and he stripped the bike before he gave it to the insurance. So he took out the clutch cover, the levers, the exhaust. I think that's all he took. So for the Ducati, this was missing. The whole entire clutch assembly was missing. On eBay, they're going for around 175, 180 bucks just for this. Off a Facebook group. I mean, obviously the deals are always going to be different. You're not going to be as lucky as we are. But just to have an example of what type of deal you can get, we got the whole entire clutch cover, the timing belt cover,
Clutch basket.
the whole entire clutch assembly.
Like the basket, the clutches, the rods that go through it, everything.
Everything. What else? The timing belt cover. What else did I get? The steering damper and the levers, which surprisingly go for a lot of money on this bike. 175 bucks. It's pretty good.
But he didn't take parts that were very expensive, but regardless, we were able to get them and we'll show you later how the bike looks like right now.
Basically, that whole entire bike rebuilt. $103.
Yeah, we're around 27, 2800.
Yeah, that's 100%. All it's missing, all we have to order is an exhaust and a back seat, and it's done.
Pretty much. But
And we will show you what to do with that one as well. Since we literally just did a fucking $1,500 bulk order, so that's coming in the next week or two. So we'll record and show you guys how to do all of that. The reason why I'm making this is because I see most people just buying mildly damaged bikes on Copart.
Yes.
I have a fucking bike missing the front end. Like,
we got
no one, like, I'm gonna put the photo of what it looked like when it came here and a photo of what it looked like at the auction. No one in the right mind would buy this. But I started looking at it, I was like, why would I ever buy that? And I started looking at the photos, I was like, the motor might be good and everything from the motor back is probably good. And it is, it's not even that hard to fix. Honestly, all this bike needs is a new frame, a complete front end, and then a tank and plastics, and it's good to go. If you want to look at the bike itself, that's the neck of the bike, snapped clean off. Clean. For the most part, the wiring harness is fine. I ordered a manual to see what everything connects to. Usually I can figure this out, but the bullshit about BMWs, it's just like their cars, like you can misconnect something easily. It's not like those bikes where you can't really mess up. So most of the bike is here, handlebars here. I don't know if it's straight or not, but the handlebars here. Vat canister's destroyed and the headers are smashed flat.
However, it looks like
the entry where the header goes is actually fine.
Bolts are probably bent, and I might have to rethread them. But other than that, it's okay. Oil cooler ripped right in half. That's why there's no oil in the bike. What else? What's else?
The back half is perfect for the most part.
Frame is cracked here. Frame. Where else is it cracked? Frame is cracked here. Here. This side of the motor is actually completely fine. No damage at all. Has a tailor-made exhaust. What else? This rear set's fine. Basically, like she said, the entire rear portion of the bike is fine. The subframe is bent a little bit, but it's nothing bad. Airbox is cracked on this side. It's just a bunch of cracks right there. So that will have to be replaced. The rear set did snap right off, but this is still there, which is really important. The bike has a quick shifter. And the only damage to the motor, which I wouldn't even consider it damage, is the stator cover cracked. But the block itself is fine. And where you see the flattening of the headers, it is fine. And then the oil leaked out right over here, because that's where the oil cooler goes in. But there's the tube ripped off, so the bolt is still there, so that's good. And then everything else is fine. So basically from here back, the bike is 100% fine. And then let's look at the damage. Here's the neck. Broke clean off. Oh, where's that? I don't have the so basically the bottom triple was here, and the bottom triple with the rod, the steering stem snapped clean off.
Yeah.
It's in.
Regardless, it's somewhere.
It's in there.
4 bikes in there.
And then here's the forks. You know, it looks. This is mint. I could reuse this. I could reuse this. Oh, never mind. I can't reuse this. This one's even worse. This one's bent and dented. But the Brembos are still good. That's the most important part. The Brembos are good. That's all I care about. And then the wheel, destroyed. Yeah, I thought I'd save myself some money and the rotors would be straight. Yeah, right. This one looks kind of okay until you look at it like this. They're bent, and then this one is just as bad. So I didn't get lucky on that, but I might get lucky on the ABS sensor that's here. Actually, no, never mind. I ripped them.
So pretty much on our videos, we're trying to normalize crash bikes because we believe that people usually buy clean title bikes, and if they buy a rebuilt title bike, they're all shaken up about it. And we pretty much believe that if it's built right, it's worth selling and it's worth keeping. But
most of the time when someone sees that it's been rebuilt, they're like, "Oh my God, there's hidden damage underneath." It's like, no. First of all, I document everything I do, and second, most of the time these rebuilt bikes are in much better shape than they are the clean titled ones. So there's that. That's that.
Funny thing is, clean title bikes may be the ones that end up looking like this after.
What that is the ignition switch for the S1000Rr. So as you can see, it's a little switch. The way this works is I have here the top triple with the ignition, and it's broken. So what I have to do is, there's like a really big difference between this one and this one. I just have to switch this, connect it back to the wiring harness, and it should turn the bike on. Alright, so we're going to be replacing this to see if the bike can turn on. I'm going to have to connect the gauge to the bike, but we'll do that later. Basically, since the switch is broken, we just have to replace these two, or remove these two screws right here. These Torx. So it's a big difference.
So yeah, pretty much the difference you could see. This is destroyed and this is fine.
Okay, so basically what's going on is my harness is damaged. So I was hoping if I were just to pin it into the ignition switch, it would turn on, just pinning the wires into here. That's not the case. This shit just, I mean, obviously I'm not actually doing it, but before I was doing it the correct way and I wasn't getting any power. So there's something wrong with the harness itself. So we're gonna go ahead and order one in the next video. Show you how to replace the entire harness and it should turn on. Could be a bad relay, whatever the case may be. I should go get a whole entire new harness just to rule everything out, because there's a lot of shit that I don't see connecting to anything, and just like the way everything is routed, I don't see how it will go. So we'll order it and we'll figure it out from there. Bad luck, because I guess my harness is damaged or something's wrong with one of the fuses. Regardless, I have to get a new harness anyway because this plug and
There's a lot of
it's a lot of random shit.
A lot
I'm
of-
waiting on the
yeah.
manual to come in.
So yeah, we also ordered a little BMW manual. So pretty much the wire harness, there's no tears, but I feel like if we get a proper wire harness and wire it up properly using the manual that we buy and using real OEM, which is a good parts catalog for BMW by the way. So that's for
Not
cars.
fucking just guess. Just guess.
Yeah, that's what you did and it didn't work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't guess.
And usually it
Make
doesn't-
an
usually
educated
it
guess.
works. The Japanese bikes are way easier.
Yeah, Japanese bikes, you guess it's something and that's usually the case.
Yeah, that shit will turn on with like a hole in the fucking block.
Yeah, no, we had difficulties with Ducati and this bike. A little bit. More this bike. But yeah, we're gonna get a new wire harness, a proper one. We're gonna wire it properly to where it goes.
That part was $120. I mean, I had to get
That
it
little
regardless.
block was $120.
I had to get it regardless.
And he guessed it.
No, I looked up that part number.
No, I'm saying you guessed how it would be.
I needed it anyway. I mean, the pins were destroyed on that one. The whole assembly, you saw it. It's fucking flat. But yeah, luckily harnesses are cheap for this bike. I'll just get a new one and we'll show you how to replace it.
And hopefully it'll turn on with the next video if if this video does good enough. Which I don't see why not.
Yeah, if the harness, once we replace the harness and it turns on,
That's when everything gets exciting.
Yeah, at that point I'll go ahead and get a new header since these are smashed clean and I can't start the bike like that because I just fuck up. I'll get an oil cooler and I'll